Well, hello and welcome to another edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, the Director of Network Growth for the Avoya Travel Network. We certainly appreciate you making time out of your busy schedule to join us on a weekly basis. If by chance this is your first time joining us for On Deck with Avoya, we just kind of cover the format. It's pretty simple, but each week we talk a little bit about the industry news. We'll focus a little bit of time on the amazing legacy of Avoya Travel, a family-owned company in the travel industry for over 50 years. We'll touch base on some of our best-in-class resources that our independent affiliates, those who make up the Avoya Travel Network, that they use in order to have a successful agency that they own and operate. And then we'll touch base a little bit about a current promotion that we have for experienced travel agents. And we'll also touch base on a new feature that we're going to have here on Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. So let's go ahead and get started. And with this week's edition of On Deck with Avoya and your weekly travel update and our eye on the industry feature. Well, we've been gone for a couple of weeks, so it's been another couple of weeks of doing the cha-cha in the travel industry, right? A couple of steps forward and a couple of steps back. And I mean, at this point, we really should be all pros at this routine by now, right? We had more cancellations in the last week, but again, that should come as zero surprise to anybody who's been really following along what's going on with the CDC and the cruise industry, because we haven't had any test sailings. They're making progress. They're getting ready maybe to announce some test sailings, but at this point, no test sailings have been announced. And without test sailings, we're not going to have any cruises, right? It has to be done a minimum of 60 days in advance before they're going to be able to sail. So again, without any test sailings, you're not going to have any cruises, and everything's been pushed back by the major lines until at least March 1st. Some brands have pushed back as far as the end of May. Royal Caribbean had a COVID scare this week and really got picked up by the news. And thankfully, they're following through on the fact that it turned out really to be a false alarm. They had a scare this week on the Quantum of the Seas, but thankfully all the major press is reporting that the 83-year-old passenger that had tested positive, tested negative in all subsequent testings. So that's good news. It did cause an early ending to that particular sailing and a possible cancellation of another sailing moving forward. But at least the major press is picking up on the fact that this was a false alarm, that the protocols out of Singapore did actually work on the Quantum of the Seas, and that what looked like it could be a potential problem turned out to be a false alarm. On the positive side of things, we have to stick with the virus, unfortunately, and talk a little bit about the vaccine news as it slowly rolls out. Already received approval in the UK and Canada and other parts of the world. And as we speak right this second, the FDA panel is actually examining, and I wouldn't be surprised if we hear within the hour that the United States has approved an emergency approval for the vaccine, and we'll start to see that roll out maybe as soon as this weekend, depending on how quickly they can make that work. I know you might be wondering, and you may have already heard from clients who are wondering too, how is this going to work in the future with the cruise lines? Are they going to mandate that passengers actually be vaccinated before they're able to sail? It's a question I can promise you that all of the major cruise lines and tour operators and airlines and hotel companies, everybody and their legal departments are studying this, right? Because there's a little bit of a gray area. What Richard Fain said, who is the CEO of Royal Caribbean, he's on record as saying 100% the staff on board will be vaccinated. That they legally can control. They can mandate that the staff has a vaccine before interacting with guests. But they're checking with their legal department. They're waiting to see kind of what the industry decides to adopt as a standard, whether or not they're going to mandate vaccines or some kind of an immunity passport. You might be able to show that you've had the COVID-19 already in the recent past and that you should not be contagious in any way, shape, or form. So Qantas, the airline, has already announced that, once things roll out with the vaccine, that you'll need a vaccine in order to fly on their airline. Australia as a whole country is considering that. And personally, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the smaller countries in the Caribbean that are so vital to the cruise industry, if they don't step up and say, hey, in order to be able to get off the ship in our port of call, you must have the vaccine. So that might kind of lessen the impact as to whether or not the cruise lines have to make that rule. Because listen, I don't know about you. I mean, I love my days on the ship, but when I take a cruise, I also can't wait to get off in some of these really neat ports of call and interact and and just kind of immerse yourself, even if it's just for the afternoon, in a culture and experience new things. So I think it's still a very fluid situation, but I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see how that all plays out. But again, we're progressing in that direction. So what does it all mean to the travel agent community? Well, it certainly means that travel agents now more than ever are a vital part of the distribution chain. And if you're a client, having a true travel professional working with you is just vital as you kind of look to plan some travel in this post-COVID world so that they can travel with ease and stay focused on the fun. It also seems to be very clear that if you are a travel professional, that having the right kind of relationships in place are going to be key for your future as well. Do you have a partner that has the resources that makes it easy and time efficient for you to be able to stay up to date with what's going on in the industry, pass along that information to your client, still have the right kind of deals, the right kind of promotions, the right kind of back office support, all of those things in order to have a well-rounded business? I know my team at the Avoya Travel Network would love to have a conversation with you and see if the resources we offer resonate with you, and maybe together we can create a shared success relationship. As we move on with our Authentically Avoya segment, today it's all about business model, right? I mean, what we have with Avoya Travel and what Avoya Travel has created with the members of the Avoya Travel Network is a shared success business model. We never compete with our independent affiliates. All of the sales in our network come from our independent affiliates. So if you find yourself with a host or another partner that also directly sells travel to the public, you have to ask yourself maybe, why am I paying a partner who is also my competitor that supposedly is going to provide me with the resources I need to have a well-rounded business? Am I their number one concern? Am I their number one focus when they put together something new? Are they looking at my business and how it impacts? Or maybe are they using the fees that I pay as an agent and the commissions that they collect off of my bookings to prop up their own business model? Again, at Avoya Travel, we provide best-in-class resources, including an award-winning CRM that we call our Agent Power System, award-winning marketing and support, and we let travel agents do what travel agents do best, and that's send clients on amazing trips, and we do that without having to compete with them. You're truly never in business alone when you're a member of the Avoya Travel Network. Talking a little bit about smart solutions, and it really leads me right into the next segment, which is all about professional development. Again, one of the main cornerstone resources in our network, and again, a best-in-class resource offered by Avoya Travel for those in the Avoya Travel Network. I'm talking about everything from our Avoya University to our amazing mastermind program, our webinars that may be tailored towards specific little bits of information about maybe how to close more sales or how to position yourself, or it might be a unique vendor presented presentation unique to the relationship that vendor and the Avoya Travel Network have. So professional development really makes a difference. It allows you to keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on. Avoya Travel has been the #1 host agency in leisure travel for 6 straight years now. And I know when I was an affiliate, because before I was the director of network growth for Avoya Travel, I actually owned a travel agency and I was a member of the Avoya Travel Network. And I know that mastermind program was just life-changing to me when I first joined the network. And the reason why, I had a lot of experience in travel. I was really good at closing sales, but what was new to me was the fact that I was working with internet leads, and they're a little bit different about how you position things. And having this team of professionals that had just an amazing history and understood the subtleties of this business model that was able to help me to be able to focus exactly where I wanted to, so that when I was reaching out to clients, I was making a point and I was moving the process forward instead of making a bunch of noise. Always be the knowledgeable expert that your clients turn to. Our professional development programs are truly best in class. And again, my team would love the opportunity to discuss this with you at your convenience and go over all of the details. We do have an amazing special offer in the marketplace right now for an experienced travel professional. I want to say that one more time. An experienced travel professional right now who can join the network. We are waiving the fee for the initial agreement with the Avoya Travel. It would cost you nothing to join our network. Again, for those who qualify, we're more than happy to go over the eligibility and the offer details with you if you reach out. Come explore complete flexibility at Avoya Travel. No long-term contract. We don't have an exclusive arrangement. As long as you are not under an exclusive arrangement with whatever situation you're in now, certainly you're more than welcome to reach out. We can discuss seeing if your agency qualifies for this fantastic promotional offer. These things don't last, forever. It's not going to last a long, long time. Please reach out if this is something you're interested in. We've been getting a lot of interest. We've been receiving a lot of requests as of late. We're more than happy to have that conversation with you so that 2021 can be the beginning of just an amazing stretch in this industry, right? We had a great run and then COVID kind of got in our way. Now that once we get past COVID and we can get really into the third and fourth quarter of 2021, man, I see a bunch of blue skies heading in our direction. So I'm really excited about that. And speaking of excited, I'm excited to announce that we have a brand new feature that we're going to do here on Deck with Avoya. We're going to do a weekly Q&A. So you want to know the facts on Avoya Travel? Do you have questions about maybe our relationship with American Express or how our agents benefit from things like the Pay with Points program or our marketing or our best-in-class technology? We're here to provide the answers. So there's lots of ways that you can reach out and participate in our Q&A feature. And we're going to launch this next week when we do next Thursday's On Deck with Avoya. But you can either leave a question right here on today's video. You can reach out and send a private message through the Avoya Travel Network on our Facebook page. You can certainly email me, my contact information, boom, right there on the screen, chris.green@avoyatravel.com. Reach out. We're more than happy to, again, have a conversation. Let us know what your questions are. We'll include that and the answer next week on Deck with Avoya. And again, in between now and then, please reach out. Let's have a conversation. We can demo our technology for you. My team would love to answer your questions and see again if together we can put together a shared success relationship that really resonates for 2021 in the future as we move forward. So again, it's chris.green@avoyatravel.com. There's my phone number. You can always reach us through the avoyanetwork.com website, right here on Facebook at the Avoya Travel Network page. And we look forward to hearing from you and we look forward to having that conversation. I very much appreciate your time. I hope you get something from these little On Deck with Avoya segments that we do on a weekly basis. I'll be back next Thursday, same time at 2:15 Eastern Time, 11:15 a.m. Pacific. And again, thank you and have a fantastic week.